uh, with Joe taking black and Dushanka taking white. Um, so everything's good so far, no mistakes, nothing to really comment here. You even got the new variation with F2 as opposed to E3, so great job there. I would say, so does anyone know why we started playing F2 as opposed to E3? Why this F2 move became so good for white?
Because H3 is like a great continuation, because black cannot cut. If it was higher, then we couldn't play it.
Not quite. So black can actually cut right now. If black shows, if white plays away and black plays here, black can cut without too much issue. It's actually not really possible for white to completely seal in these 3 stones.
Okay.
You know, so something like this might happen, but you know, it's not clear that the stones are going to be captured right away. And it's also possible that, you know, you can play here first and something like this. And so these 3 stones could still be cut. So the real reason, so not to say that this H3 stone isn't well placed, but the real reason why you play here instead of at E3 is there is a lot of aji with with black playing F2 later on. So if white blocked here, black could jump up and something like this might happen. Now black could save these stones and white wouldn't really have very much at the bottom. So there was a lot of aji that was left over here. And what we thought that these 3 stones were very important, but I think what we've learned is that these 3 stones aren't that big a deal. Even if black were to come in and try to cut these off, we could give them up without too much issue. And it's not that much territory for white or for black because it's only about 8 to 10 points. So that's kind of the revelation, was that these 3 stones weren't worth very much. And so when you come back and you add an extra move here, what you're really doing is you're putting more stress on these stones that we don't care about to begin with, and you're making it so that black's territory gets extended out here. And that removes a lot of aji later on with moves like C8. Kind of a more nuanced concept, but basically it's by playing at D7, D6, you're losing out on the benefits of F2.
Okay, that's eye-opening.
Yeah. Yeah, these 3 stones are no longer important once you play F2.
Okay.
Because it does work well with the H3 stone. And you know, even the push here, right? It's questionable because black is ahead in the race. And you don't want to let your opponent be ahead in the race, right?
Okay. But like I didn't know that giving up 3 stones was a possibility. So
yeah, definitely. So this is all okay. Yep, all, you know, very modern, good stuff. Yep, I love everything. You know, nothing to really comment on here. All good moves. But I will say, imagine if you didn't play this D6 move. I know it's kind of hard to see, but if we didn't have C7, we'd actually have an invasion here, right?
Yeah, I see that.
So going back a little bit, you know, I don't want to completely redo it, but and now we'd have you know, something like this that we can deal later on, and this would be pretty painful for invasion. Yeah, it's pretty painful for black. So again, a subtle concept, but it does have, you know, big ramifications. And again, pushing here, it's, you know, we're focusing too much on these stones here, but it's going to be really hard to really make good use of this wall because the stones here are pretty low and there's a lot of space in between for black to eventually invade. And what you're really doing is you're just allowing black to solidify all of this territory quite easily. You know, before this this move, you know, there were still invasion points. Something like this could be annoying later on. You know, it's I'm not saying it's going to work, but there's something that could, you know, there are things that could happen, or even just you know, moves like this, which is, you know, slightly annoying, right? Something like this later on could be just a little bit annoying for black to deal with. But by adding these extra moves on the outside, you're basically saying you get all of this territory, and now we have to figure out a way to effectively get all of this territory. And I think that's going to be really hard.
Yeah, I knew that probably that push was controversial, but I was like, I couldn't really destroy that part of the territory, but I still wanted to play like a B12 move, and I did play it later on. So yeah.
B12, yeah. But the problem with B12 though is now B12 never doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Yeah. So you played it now. Yeah, but you know, even just the addition of this stone is going to really change the fight over here.
Yes.
So, you know, it's kind of questionable, is this exchange good, right?
Yes, but in my previous game, I learned that having like black connecting on C13 was good for me because I'm going to end up in center because I am ending up in center.
Well, black could also play here too.
Well, yes.
Right. Yeah. So it's not a bad exchange. You know, black being forced to connect here, but again, it's so much solid territory for black, and it's fourth line territory. So that's kind of what we're thinking of, like, okay, there's no weakness here. You know, the best that white's going to be able to do is just play here later on, you know, which is not small, but it's still quite a lot of territory. It's radiating influence across the board. And again, we're not sure that we're going to be using these 5 stones effectively to get this territory. You know, let's say white plays like this. Well, now, do you need these 2 extra stones here to get this territory? No, right? You know, you'd have to add a bunch more moves to actually get this territory. Meanwhile, black is making side territory or corner territory while you're trying to get center territory.
It's interesting that I didn't freak out at all at this point. Like, I was like, this is almost even. It's fine.
I don't think it's a huge difference, but I think that black stones, I think all of black stones are being used effectively, and I don't think white stones are right now. It's kind of because specifically these 2 stones. I think otherwise, I think white stones are being used fine. So all good. Yep. Yep. All okay. Yeah, I do. This is a really large move. I wasn't sure if black should be playing here or if black should be playing here. You know, I think obviously, excuse me. I think obviously the fear is that white would invade here, but you know, I think that that's okay. You know, you can come back and then take away territory from black, or you can also attack the stone as well. So I think both are perfectly okay here. But really big move. And it also, the really nice thing about this is it severely reduces the effectiveness of this move, because now it's not like black's building up a side territory here, because this move is already taking up away the space that black wanted. So, you know, imagine if you let's just say this happened, right? Like boom, boom, oops, excuse me. Something like this where white solidifies the top, black plays here, white solidifies the bottom, and then black plays something like this. Now that would obviously be a really good result for black. So I know I'm hammering home how good this move is, but it makes this next move by black, which is a large move, that much worse.
Yeah, I knew that one got some RG, but I hoped that he wouldn't use that.
Yeah, I think I don't think you would use it yet.
Yes.
But it's something that would come into play later. So you know, there's still the weakness at h17. And so for that reason, I think I would be more inclined just to play the knight's move. And there's still the weakness at h17, but this group over here is still strong. But this is playable. You're just gonna have
but like if I don't count that territory, I'm losing at this point.
Maybe, yeah.
So I was like, I'm probably going to get territory, so it's not so bad. But yes, I got it in the end.
Yeah. I will say, you know, you'll just have to deal with this fight later on too.
Okay.
You know, if something like this were to happen, it's going to be, you know, it's not amazing, right? And also, like, if black were to ever get this move, it's going to be Sente on this group, because you know, like something like this is going to happen. It's going to completely destroy this white territory. So it's something to be mindful of for later. There's a lot more Aji with K16 than L16, and for that reason, I would probably be more inclined to play L16. But Joe, this move at K15 is definitely a mistake, because it basically comes back and allows white to fix the weakness that I had here. Now, when now if black were to play here, it can just come through and protect, right?
Hmm.
I completely read it.
Yeah. So yeah, this K15 move is definitely a mistake. And the other issue with that is, you're not building anything because white's already gotten this great move at M5,
Okay.
right? So it's not like you're able to build the center territory that you really want to map out. This is fine too. Projecting this way is totally okay. Why not just block here?
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So if you play here, one, black gets this nice push, but two, this move also, it's possible that if white doesn't play here, white just, does something else. There's a bunch of hanes here as well.
Okay.
And unfortunately, if you play here, you don't have that extra liberty, you try to do the same thing, white can cut.
All right. At this point,
Yep.
I guess we gotta stop.
Yeah, switch to
Mike,
Sean. Yeah.
you did an excellent job tonight. I think you hit a couple of really critical points.
Thank you,
Um,
Michael.